Hi guys, this is another soft-spoken video. Just to pre-warn you, this is a very girly video. When I say girly, it's female orientated around
periods and like blood.
So if you don't want to watch that, please click away. It's kind of like one of those videos that might give you some insight if you're a guy and you want to learn about the female stuff, or like when I make those condom videos, or well, I made one, but you know, certain people won't want to watch that. It's one of those videos. There's not going to be much tapping in this video because the majority of stuff in here isn't tapping related. It's mostly Crinkles and just a show and tell really video. So why is there a barcode just like right there? Oh no, you know when you start peeling something and then like it rips and like you have strips? Those are the worst labels. You know that those labels have literally been on since you were birthed into this world. Oh, there we go. That was so satisfying. Stick. I'm joking. It would have been funny though. Okay, so I tend to use the branded products, like always, and mainly because no one else has got it right yet, like no one. I've tried Aldi, Morrison's, Asda, Tesco, all the big brand pads. Back in the days of like when I was 13 though, with spots and acne and all that stuff. They used to make pads that were like really thick and had like bunching. I don't know if you remember, they still make them I think, but they were horrible and I never wanted to wear the cheap ones, and then that's why I kind of moved on to Always. But then I found out that they do make like thin, you know, pads from other brands. I started trying them, but they just weren't cutting it. Like the sticky would always come off, they'd bunch in the middle. Just, it's not great. But you don't want a horrible time when you're already on a horrible time. So I was sticking to Always for a while. These ones here are like the ultimate night pad that you'll ever need. Like if you're on a super heavy throw, they are literally like nappies in a pad form. They are like super pads, and yeah, so they are great, but don't always need them. That's why they're sitting there for a while. And then tampons I don't tend to use as much because you hear all about on the news that people have had these certain shocks and stuff, but they kind of like, they have like an increased risk with tampons, so I don't like that. And I even got the Cotton's Natural. They're supposed to be made of like 100% natural cotton. But again, I'm just not 100% convinced with tampons, but I got them just in case I need them. So it says most tampons contain synthetic material. Cottons don't. Cottons are only made of 100% natural cotton, so they give you natural protection you can count on. Cotton's tampon are also biodegradable and hypoallergenic. So they should be okay. But again, you know, everyone has their personal reasons, and I don't really like tampons that much. But anyway, moving on. don't think these are the tampons that I used in my, like, doing a tampon on your face video. I'm weird. Okay, so underneath here, these are all my pads that I've made, because I got to a point in my life where I was having a phase with making stuff on the sewing machine, and one of those things was cloth pads. And cloth pads are great because they can reuse them all the time, like clothes. You just throw them in the washing machine when you're done, so there's no mess, and literally you can just keep reusing them, you know. So some of them, I'm not going to show you some of them because unfortunately they do stain, obviously, because it's blood. You can remove the stains, and most of the times it does come out with like a special blood removal one. This is the first one I ever made, which just looks like this. It's not very good, but I was trying to do like a really fancy design and stuff. And they are fleece backed, and they actually have PUL in them, which is a plastic, and people who are natural probably won't use the plastic if you make pads yourself, but you can opt for like water resistant or waterproof fleece backing, which stops heavy period coming through, but you have to be careful because sometimes if you're really heavy it can seep through. So I just use PUL because I like to be sure that they're basically like these pads, but that you can reuse them all the time. So yeah, and I use Velcro with this one to secure on the back, and I actually did like a little bit of edging here so it wouldn't catch on me so much, because to be honest I don't think Velcro is the best thing to use with these. I think the people who sell pads use the poppers, and they are much better because they don't catch your skin when you're walking. So this was a whole batch of pads that I made within like 2 months, and I think if I was to do them again I would get a popper machine. So that's the only reason I haven't been using these, because they hurt to walk around in. Because they've got fleece backing, fleece, I've forgotten the name, flannel, there we go. It's got a flannel backing. It will like stop movement in your pants, so they won't move, which is awesome. So they're great, they're awesome. They help save the planet and help save, you know, money, and help your body not be so like itchy and horrible due to these pads all the time. So these are great. It's just I've made them wrong, so I haven't been wearing them as much. But like you can make them in all different thicknesses, and you can have different patterns on the top and different like designs with different fabrics. I'm just trying to find a good one. So like this is another one. This is cotton topped, and cotton topped is great for like summer. It doesn't heat you up. It's quite cooling. It just takes a lot longer to dry, cotton does, and it's not very quick absorbing. So it's great. You can also buy like templates to make these online, because this has actually got a good backing to it, because there's a little bit of excess there, but not too much. You can also make double-sided ones if you wanted to, so you can have like My Little Pony on the front and pink on the back. This is a bamboo wool, cotton bamboo. This is made by somebody called Honor Your Flow. This was actually a bit expensive, and it's good though because it's super absorbent and it's only really good for light, very light periods. But guess what happened? Stupid little me left all my like cotton pads lying on the top, and a moth ate it, because moths just love anything squishy like wool or cashmere, anything really. So that was a bit annoying. I'm trying to find a really good, because you can make these in all different thicknesses and like colours, and it's so pretty. But I'm trying to find. Okay, so this one. Let's try this one. Okay, I'm only going to show you part of this one because this one's a bit stained. This one is, I can't remember what this one's called. I think it's like a suede fabric, but it's supposed to, it wicks stuff away really quick, which is in comparison with those Always memory foam sort of pads. And that's the reason why I really like cloth pads, is that you can get fabrics that wick stuff away really quick. Another one that also does that is this kind of material that you get on like sports stuff. It's like a jersey. The problem with jersey is it's really hard to work with on the sewing machine though. It like stretches, which is very annoying, but it wicks away really quick. And then like for the inside bits, I just have like, you can use flannel, you can use a bamboo, cottony thing. I've got like loads of different fabrics that you can use for the insides of these to keep them thin, but still keep them absorbent, you know. But like other pads, you still have to replace them through the day, otherwise they like leak. This is probably my favourite fabric, the Minnie Mouse fabric. This, because I got this right in the middle as well, too cute for words. And I still have loads of this fabric left. I had some black flannel as well, so I kind of matched it up. And the design actually came out quite well. My stitching's okay. So if I was to ever sell pads, this is the pattern that I'd go for, because there's different like sizes in the width, especially around here. Like some people will like bigger ends to catch the flow better at the ends. But yeah, I know that there is a product called menstrual cups, which are like silicone things that you can get to put inside of you instead of a tampon. But again, I don't really like the thought of stuff just being there. I'd rather have things outside, which is why I have so many pads. But honestly, I wish that I could go back in time and just like make all these with poppers, because maybe I could just like unpick all the these bits off and like put poppers there instead. I don't know. Another fabric which is quite interesting is mink. It looks like this. It's a short pile because you don't want a long pile. And this absorbs quickly too, but it's very, very hot. So you only want a thin layer of this stuff. And this is where I started thinking about different sizes. Like this has got a bigger back and longer bits here, so I could kind of like adjust it better. But yeah, so that's a really pretty fabric as well, but it is a bit more expensive. Okay. Here's an example of a pad that has, this is actually a white pad, so it was even more difficult to remove stains. And this one has polar fleece on the back, I believe. And polar fleece is the cheapest fleece that you can get. It's a bit water resistant, but it does tend to leak through on like the edges, the seams, like around the where the flaps are basically. And these pads are usually sold by sellers who just want to, you know, give you a cheap pad, and they're great for like light flows, but I wouldn't recommend it for people who have regular flows, because you tend to leak and that's very annoying. But that's an example where there isn't any PUL inside, so it's just pure fleece, if that makes sense. I don't recommend fleece as much as you know, flannel, because it does make for a thicker pad and a warmer pad. But at the end of the day, some people don't like plastic inside the pads. Some people are just trying to move from plastic pads to like environment friendly pads, so they don't have any plastic in them. But for me, I was just looking to save money and, you know, just have something that I could reuse and reuse and reuse. So I didn't really care if it was plastic, you know what I mean. The other fabric that people use on the top is terry toweling. Again, this does stain, which gets very annoying because it's cotton terry toweling, and cotton stains like no tomorrow. Like polyester doesn't tend to stain, obviously. It's really hard to actually dye fabric that's made of polyester. It's physically basically impossible. So, but this particular pad was one of the first ones that I got. It was by Feminine Wear, and I loved their website so much. I used to keep buying like chocolate bars on there. But this is very hot. This gets very hot because it's got, I'm pretty sure it's got fleece inside of it, or some kind of really thick flannel, or just terry toweling, to be quite honest. It's really thick, it doesn't absorb much, and it's very hot. So that was the tipping point where I wanted to start making my own pads. But you have to start somewhere, unfortunately. And you wouldn't believe it, but literally when you wear these things, it literally feels like you're not wearing a pad at all. It's so soft. Get on with your normal day. You don't even think about your pad. You basically forget you're wearing one, and like, it's, you know, you basically forget. This is another one of these light pads by a seller. This, I think, I don't know if I chose. I don't think there is PUL in this. No, there isn't. This is the newest fleece technology, which is, I don't know what it's called, micro fleece maybe, but it's like one of the flagship fleeces that doesn't allow any water to get through, and it doesn't leak, and apparently all this stuff, you know. So this is very thin. I think there's only like a layer of flannel or something inside of this, or bamboo, but this was actually quite expensive. This was one of the most expensive pads I bought, and I think this is Luna something, I don't know. She doesn't have a flipping tag in here to tell me who it is, but yes, this is a different shape type of pad, and this one's really pretty, but it's only a light flow again, but at least it doesn't leak. Polar fleece is the one that really does leak, and micro fleece. This is the big one. This is the monster of all pads. This is freaking amazing. I can't remember who made this. There is no label yet again, but it's a very common pattern that she made herself, I believe. Well, it's not common, but it's her pattern that she made, and if you search up on Etsy, this is, if you see it, you know it's her. This stains, unfortunately, quite easily, but I don't know why, because this is like jersey, I think, because it stretches, and I didn't think jersey could stain, but then I suppose it is still cotton jersey, if that makes sense. And what am I saying? Of course cotton stains. Anyway, so this one is the super absorbency sort of one that has many layers of absorbency inside, and it's interesting because it's built up in like layers. So like the closer it is to the top here, like there's more layers here, and then as it comes out there's less layers to make it more comfortable, which is really cool, like really cool. Just means that like the middle has the most absorbency and like the ends don't really have much, so that's awesome. And then these like little petal shapes here, I don't know if this is going to get quite graphic, but if you're on your period and like you've got a really heavy flow, sometimes you can feel like blobs come out, and like it's like a layer of, I don't know, tissue sort of blood stuff that comes out. They get trapped in like these little bits, and then they kind of just sit there, but because you feel like the top layer, you don't feel when they go into these bits. I know that when you wear plastic pads, when you get blobs, they kind of stick to you because they don't go in the pad, they kind of stick on the top and then they stick to you. So it's not nice, you know, but they kind of get stuck in this, which is awesome. And these kind of like petals help the period like go in faster. So this is a very wicking material, and it's great if you're on a really, really heavy flow. I really recommend these. These are all on, like, if you're ever going to search cloth pads, always do it on Etsy, not eBay. Just go for Etsy. because that's where people make stuff. And like, yeah, so I really recommend these, but like I said, they do stain. I got it in red because I thought, well, if it's going to stain, it's going to be red, because obviously periods are red. But I would recommend you get a stain remover that you can just use, rub it on, or one that goes in the washing machine. But if you don't really care, then you're good. Like if you don't care about staining, literally all you do is put them in the washing machine and they're done. You don't have to pre-soak. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. So I'll tell you a little gross story. When I lived in my parents' house, I wasn't allowed to use the washing machine. And so with me, I had to pre-soak everything. Everything had to be washed by hand in the sink, and that is a lot of blood to wash. I don't really have a problem with it, but some people can. It just smelled very like iron, very strong metal sort of smell. Some people put them in buckets of water, pre-soak them and leave them overnight and then wash that out. But my gosh, ever since moving into this place, all I've ever done is shove them in the washing machine with like a rinse of 15 minutes and it's done. Like, it's such a life changer. I don't understand how people like do that every day and just pre-wash. I mean, I suppose it saves water, you know, doing it by hand. But if you have a problem with blood and you don't want to see that but you still want to move to like natural pads, just shove them in the washing machine. So yeah, that's my little interesting pad video. You see, when I make videos, they're never just straightforward, you know, they always have to have some kind of a twist to them. Because I bet you weren't expecting cloth pads or like super heavy nappy type pads. Can't believe it. So yeah, that's my little collection of period pads. I'm glad we got this out of the way because now I can move on to sex products. I'm joking. Okay, no, we're not filming that video. So yeah, thanks for watching this video and I hope you found it useful.